Welcome back everyone. In this lecture we'll learn about histogram matching or specification and one example on that. In the previous lecture we learned about histogram equalization, which basically yields an image whose pixels are uniformly distributed among all gray levels. But it doesn't work all the time, okay, and we may not want equalization to be done all the time, okay. And sometimes we want something more specific, okay, like we will specify the output image histogram, and we try to turn the input image histogram into something which is provided, which is specified, okay, and we try to match the input image histogram to that specified histogram. So that is what we do in this histogram specification. So we want a transformation that yields an output image with a pre-specified histogram. So this technique is called as histogram specification. So here in histogram specification, the information given are: first one, input image from which we can manipulate its histogram. Second, we are also provided with a desired histogram. The goal of this transformation is to derive a point operation h of r that maps the input image into an output image that has the same user specified histogram. So look at the goal here. So we need to derive a point operation. We are still doing the point operation here. H of r, point operator h of r that maps the input image, okay, input image this one, into output image that has the user specified histogram. So this is the user specified or desired histogram. So we need to derive the point operator h of r that maps this input image histogram into an output image that has the user specified histogram. So this is the goal for histogram matching. Again, for this transformation, we'll assume continuous gray values. We'll not consider uh, discrete values for this derivation. So the approach of the transformation is to uh, obtain equalized image, a equalized histogram from the input image, okay, using the transformation S is equal to T of R, and one more transformation, equalized histogram using the specified histogram or target histogram, which is G of Z, okay. And once we obtain that G of Z and T of R, the task is to obtain G inverse transformation which maps to S is equal to T of R, okay. So this is the approach. So we need to find the inverse transform which basically maps to V equal to S is equal to T of R, and we expect this transformation to provide the output image histogram which is equivalent to the specified histogram, okay. That is the approach of the derivation. Suppose the input image has probability density in P of R. We want to find a transformation Z equal to H of R such that the probability density of the new image obtained by this transformation is P out of Z, which is not necessarily uniform. So we'll first apply the transformation which we have already done in the previous lecture. Is S is equal to T of R, which is equal to integral P of W dW for the interval 0 to 1 or for the interval 0 to 1, and the integral from limits from 0 to R. So let us call this as equation 1. So this gives an image with a uniform probability density. If the desired output image were available, then the following transformation would generate an image with uniform density. So this is a basically equalization of the output or specified histogram. Okay, so desired output image were available. So this output histogram is specified, and we are basically trying to equalize it. Okay, so v is equal to g of z, which is equal to integral p out of w dw, integral limits from 0 to z. The value of z varies from 0 to 1. Okay, normalized range. So let us call this as equation 2. From gray values n, we can obtain the gray values z by using inverse transformation z equal to g inverse of v. If instead of using the gray values n obtained from equation 2 that we saw in the last slide, we can use gray values s obtained from equation 1, which is basically equalization of the input image. Okay, both are basically uniformly distributed. Then the point transformation is given by z is equal to h of r, which is equal to g inverse of inverse transform of uh, t of r, okay, which is equal to v, which is equal to s. Okay, so this equation will generate an image with a specified density p of z from an input image with density in p of r. Okay, so the histogram is specified. Okay, and we are trying to match that histogram, okay, on the input image. So the transform will try to map to the output histogram or specified histogram. So the derivation was about continuous gray values. We assumed continuous levels, but for discrete gray levels, we can use this transformation. It's basically we can use the summation instead of integral. So sk is equal to t of r, which is equal to summation p in of rj from j value varies from 0 to k, and k is into interval 0 to l minus 1. And v of k output image equalization, histogram equalization. V of k is g of zk, which is equal to p out of uh, zj equal to sk. Again j varies from 0 to k, and k value varies from 0 to l minus 1. So if the transformation zk mapping to g of zk is 1 to 1, the inverse transformation sk mapping to g inverse of sk can be easily determined, since we are dealing with small set of discrete gray values. But in practice, this is not usually the case. Zk mapping to g of zk is not 1 to 1, and we assign gray values to match the given histogram as closely as possible. So as we did in the problem for equalization, here also we'll assign gray values to match the given histogram as closely as possible. We'll manually try to assign the values, okay, to suit the uh, requirement. Okay, we'll understand it more closely when we do the problem. So the algorithm to perform histogram specification is given by this. So first step, equalize input image to get an image with uniform gray values using the discrete equation which we saw in the previous slide. Sk is equal to t of rk, which is equal to summation of pn of rj. Second, based on the desired histogram, to get an image with uniform gray values, use the discrete equation vk equal to g of zk, which is equal to p out of summation of p out zj. Okay, and then obtain z value by using the inverse transformation on g inverse of v equal to s, which maps to z equal to g inverse of t of r. Let us see an example to understand this histogram specification process. So consider the same 8 level 64 cross 64 image that we had seen in the previous example for equalization. So this was the table we obtained. Okay, this process we understood in the previous lecture. Okay, how to obtain the values for all these columns nk, p of rk, and rk, normalization of this, and normalize nk value, you get p of rk. So this was understood in the previous lecture. So this is the histogram of the input image. Okay, and it is desired to transform this image into a new image using a transformation z is equal to h of r, which is equal to g inverse of t of r, with the histogram specified as below. So this is the specified histogram. Okay, so this is what our output image histogram should look like. Okay, they have provided this histogram, and this is how it looks. Okay, when you plot the target histogram, so this is how our output image histogram should look like. Okay, let's see how much will be successful in transforming the input image into something like this. Okay, with histogram like this. So we have obtained the transformation TFR already in the previous lecture. So this is the output histogram table we had obtained for the input image. Okay, so we had gone through this. We had obtained a 5-level image. So these are the values: 0.19, 0.25, 0.21, 0.24, and 0.111. And if you add all these things up, it should amount to 1. Okay, or if you add this NK values, it is 4096 if you recall. So this process was done, so we are skipping this. Okay, you can refer the previous lecture uh, to see how we obtained all these values. Let's perform similar transformation on the target histogram. Okay, so let's compute z is equal to g inverse of s, and notice that g is not invertible here. So let us obtain the value for v naught first. V naught is g of z naught. So first value p out of z naught 0 maps to 0. V1 is first value and the second value z naught plus z1. P out of z naught. These values are from the specified histogram. This process is basically equalizing the specified histogram. Okay. So again, so this maps to 0. V2, we are considering 0 to 2, that is 3 values, P out of Z0, Z1 and Z2. Again it is 0. V3, Z0, Z1 up to Z3, so it is 0.15, which can be approximated to the level 1 by 7. Similarly, V4 can be given as this equation and can be approximated to 2 by 7, which is 0.35, and V5 is 0.65, which can be approximated to 5 by 7, and V6 can be uh, calculated as 0.85, which is approximated to 6 by 7 level, and finally V7 can be approximated to the uh, level 1. Okay, the answer is if you sum all these things, it will be 1, and you can approximate it to level 1 or 7 by 7. Now let us compute this value of z, okay, which is g inverse of s. So here first value g inverse of 0. So this 0 value is mapping to 3 levels. Let's check this out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that value is uh, not clearly defined, so it maps to 3 things, so we are not sure which one to map to. So what we can do is we can write a question mark here. Next one, after 0 it is level 1 by 7. 1 by 7 is mapping to z3 or v3 here, so we can write it as g inverse of 1 by 7 is equal to level 3 by 7. Okay, so how to interpret this is level 1 by 7 will acquire the values of 3 by 7. Sorry, level 3 by 7 will acquire the we are doing the since we are doing the inverse transformation, we can view it as level 3 by 7 acquiring the values of 1 by 7. Okay, next, uh, G inverse of 2 by 7 here maps to 4. Okay, 4 is 4 by 7. So level 4 by 7 acquires the pixel values from level 2 by 7 of the input. Next, after 2 by 7 we are seeing 5 by 7 here. Okay, there is no 3 by 7 or 4 by 7. So G inverse of 3 by 7 not sure. G inverse of 4 by 7 again not sure because it's not given, so we'll put a question mark there. And G inverse of 5 by 7 here maps to 5 by 7, so level 5 by 7 will acquire the pixel values of 5 by 7 of the input image, and 6 by 7 will map to 6 by 7, so direct mapping there. And level 1 maps to level 7, that is basically 7 by 7 mapping to 7 by 7. Okay, equal or same mapping. So this is how we do the inverse mapping. Let us now combine the two transform T and G inverse and compute Z equal to H of R. Okay, so the first column is R mapping to T of R. So this is basically what we did in the first problem, or in equalization previous lecture. Okay, and first part of this problem also. So equalization of the input image. So R naught of 0, TR of 0 is 1 by 7, TR of 1 by 7 is 3 by 7, TR of 3 by 7 and 4 by 7 we equated to 6 by 7, and TR of 5 by 7, 6 by 7 and 7 by 7 map to 1. So this is what we obtained in the equalization part for the input image histogram. Next column will compute the values for S mapping to G inverse of S, which is equal to Z, and the third column is R mapping to Z equal to H of R, which is basically G inverse of T of R. We are assigning some pixels based on the gray levels. Okay, so let's compute. So S naught of 0 maps to, so look at this, G inverse of S. G inverse of 0 doesn't have any value represented, so we'll write a question mark here. And similarly, R naught of 0 maps to G inverse of 1 by 7. So R naught of 0 maps to 1 by 7. Okay, so 1 by 7, G inverse of 1 by 7 maps to 3 by 7. So here it is, G inverse of 1 by 7 is 3 by 7. Okay, so that is the first thing. Next row, S1 of 1 by 7, if you consider G inverse of 1 by 7 is 3 by 7. Okay, G inverse of 1 by 7 is 3 by 7 here, and for R1 equal to 1 by 7, so G inverse of T of R, T of R is T of R for 1 by 7 level is 3 by 7, so we need to write the value of G inverse of 3 by 7, so we'll leave it as question mark for time being. Next, S2 equal to 2 by 7, 2 by 7, G inverse of 2 by 7 is 4 by 7, so that we are writing here. Now R2 of 2 by 7 mapping to G inverse of T of R. G inverse of 2 by 7, G inverse of 2 by 7 is 5 by 7. Okay, so so here it is, G inverse of 2 by 7 is 5 by 7. So G inverse of 5 by 7, if you look at this value, G inverse of 5 by 7 was 5 by 7, so we'll write 5 by 7 here. Next, S3 is equal to 3 by 7, G inverse of 3 by 7 is undefined, so we'll write question mark here. And then R3 is equal to 3 by 7, R3 is 3 by 7, S3 of 3 by 7, again we have written it as question mark here. So R3 of 3 by 7 maps to G inverse of 6 by 7, and G inverse of 6 by 7 is 6 by 7. Okay, so we write it here. Next, S3 of 4 by 7. G inverse of 4 by 7 is undefined, question mark, we write question mark here. And R3 of 4 by 7, which maps to G inverse of T of R. So 4 by 7 is 6 by 7, okay, for T of R. So G inverse of 6 by 7 maps to 6 by 7, again we write 6 by 7. Next, S5 is 5 by 7, G inverse of 5 by 7 is 5 by 7, so it is 5 by 7. And R5 equal to 5 by 7, 5 by 7, T of R of 5 by 7 is 1, so G inverse of 1 is 1. And S6 is 6 by 7, maps to 6 by 7. R6 of 6 by 7 is G inverse of 6 by 7, okay, is 6 by 7. G inverse of 1 is 1, and S7 equal to 1 is 1, and R7 of 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so this is how we write. But if you compare it with the specified histogram, this 4 by 7 level is missing, and we have written question mark for this 1 by 7 level. This is not mapped to any of the specified histogram components. So by observation we can assign this level to 4 by 7. Okay, so this level can be assigned to 4 by 7. So this is how we obtain the histogram values for the output image based on the specified histogram. So after applying the transformation H to the original image, yields an image with the histogram as below. So these are the K values, and these are the ZK values and NK values. And now we can observe the specified histogram. This was the given task given. Okay, so we had 0 representation for 0, 1, 2 level, and we had representation for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 level. Okay, and more representation for 5. And this is the actual histogram we obtained after we performed equalization on the given image. Okay, this was specified, this is the actual one we obtained. Okay, so first 3 0, we didn't get exactly 1.15, but we got 0.19, that is fine. We were supposed to get 0.2 for 4, we got 0.25, that is nearby. And 0.3, it's 0.21, so here there is a bit of difference, fine. And 0.2 was specified, we got 0.24, and 0.15 was specified, 0.11. So we are somewhere near to the specified value, and because we are dealing with discrete levels, so we won't get exact match. Okay, so continuous values we might have got the exact value, but since we are dealing with discrete levels, so this is the best that we can achieve. Again, the actual histogram of the output image does not exactly but only approximately matches with the specified histogram. This is because we are dealing with discrete histograms. So this is how it looks. If you consider the example, this is the original input image and its histogram, and this is the specified histogram. Okay, so histogram should have two peaks like this, one located around 50 and another located around 200. So basically we are having a bright area and a dark area and a gap in between in the specified histogram. So this is the target for this image. Okay, which is having a input histogram like this. Now if you do the histogram equal specification, now this is the result. Okay, so after we perform the matching process, so this is the histogram we get and the output image. So you can see the image has improved quite a lot compared to the input image. Okay, so this is the result of using histogram matching. So there is a gap between two specific histogram components as specified, and it is giving a better result compared to the histogram equalization. So in this lecture we have looked at histogram matching or specification process, its derivation, one example on it, and in the next lecture we'll be learning about local enhancement using arithmetic and logical operators, basics of spatial domain filtering. See you at the next lecture. Thank you.